Alright, welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to talk all about brain fog. It's one of those things that many of us face on a day-to-day basis, but it's just simply not discussed enough. You see, people of all ages, teenagers to people in their 70s or 80s, they deal with brain fog these days more than ever before because we're so inundated with information and we're always trying to be busy and we're low energy and we're sleep deprived and all these other things which I'll discuss more in the video. But yeah, just doesn't get talked about enough. Just the other day, I had a strategy call with one of my clients. And he started the call off saying, hey man, things are doing okay. This was our first call. He said, hey, things are okay. I'm happy to be working together. But what I will say is that my brain fog is so bad. My decision making is slowed down. I'm not thinking as clearly, and I'm having a hard time executing on those ideas that I know I need to execute on. So I sat there thinking, yeah, he's not alone. Many of us, as I said, of all ages are experiencing the same problem. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a high-level professional in a 9-to-5 job, whether you're running a business or multiple businesses, this really holds you back. You can know exactly what it is you need to do. You can know exactly your plans and how you're going to get there. But when it comes to executing or making the decisions needed to execute, you simply can't because your brain is just in disarray. On the surface, most people will think, okay, well, maybe I'm just low energy. Maybe I need to sleep more or start exercising more or dial in my nutrition. And these things can be the case. If they need working on, then yeah, improve them. Figure out what's not working and figure out what can be working for you to feel better and think more clearly. But what I found in my inner work with myself and working with athletes and my friends and family and my clients is that most of the time, there's a bigger source. There's a more prominent reason as to why you're experiencing brain fog. So today I'm going to discuss exactly what that is. I'm going to share the 5-minute protocol you can do every single day to clear that brain fog and clear your mind and fully focus on whatever you got to do with that meaningful deep work. And yeah, hopefully it's helpful. So first things first, we got to get clear on the main culprit of brain fog. Like I mentioned, poor sleep, poor nutrition, lack of exercise, lack of vitamin D, lack of ambition. These things can lead to brain fog. Yeah, there's no denying it. But the main reason many people experience brain fog is because their brains are just overloaded with way too much information. Oftentimes, these are unresolved conflicts or unresolved ideas that are sitting within your subconscious mind, just taking up space, making you feel mentally obese. So your conscious mind can only process about 50 to 120 bits of information per second, and it can only hold about 5 to 9 units of information in working memory. So it's very limited, all right? You can only consciously become aware of and process things at a very minimal speed. But your subconscious mind, this is way more powerful. It can process tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of bits of information per second. This happens naturally, obviously beneath the surface of your awareness. Along with this, your subconscious mind remembers everything. All the conversations you had, all the experiences you had, all the things you were taught by parents and teachers and other caretakers within your life. It all gets stored within your subconscious mind. And in modern times, we're just flooded with information every single day. We got the mainstream news, we got social media, we got emails, text messages, DMs, all these things that are just always on our mind and we're always checking them and trying to stay up to date and trying to respond and do all these things that ultimately our mind can't handle. So all these pieces of information are essentially open loops within your subconscious mind. Think of all the ideas you haven't explored. Think of all the videos you started watching but never finished. Think of all of the plans you had for your business or your job that never got fulfilled. All these things sit within your mind because your subconscious mind, as I said, never forgets. It remembers everything. And this is why we experience brain fog now, these days, more than ever before. If you're serious about thinking clearly and performing at your best and making the right decisions and executing on those meaningful ideas you gotta execute on, then you gotta close the loops within your mind. The most effective and simple way you can go about this in the quickest of times is by pairing meditation with brain dumping. I briefly mentioned this in the last video, but I wanna go even deeper with this, explaining how it works, why it works, and how you can apply this within your life. So you have all this information within your subconscious mind just floating around, all right? Some things are bubbling up to the surface of your conscious awareness and you're worried about these things. You're stressed, you're anxious, you're overwhelmed, you're imagining hypothetical scenarios where things don't go the way you want them to go, all right? That happens. You're a human, I'm a human, it's inevitable. When you meditate, mainly with mindfulness meditation, you're closing your eyes, you're focusing on the breath, and you're just observing those thoughts as they come to mind. And if you can become consciously aware of those thoughts without any judgment, without any emotional reaction, then you're doing a good job. It's not about clearing your mind, it's about becoming aware of and accepting whatever those thoughts are as they come to mind and not attaching yourself with judgment or emotion. Anyways, after you do that, what you want to do is you want to take out a pen and a paper and just brain dump all those ideas that come to mind. This is especially very beneficial right before you have to do deep work, so that when you're focusing on whatever task you got to do, maybe it's writing a proposal, maybe it's scripting your video like I do pretty often, maybe it's preparing for a sales call with a prospective client, you can focus fully on that task rather than just allowing those subconscious material to pull your attention away. Because you've done the meditation, because you've done the brain dumping, your mind and your attention won't wander to those things because you've taken them from here and you've made them real. You've put them on paper. You've essentially extracted them from your brain and put them onto something else. I strongly recommend you do this before any period of deep work. Rather than making the transition from whatever you were doing to the deep work, spend even just 5 minutes every single day right before those periods of deep work, doing the meditation, writing out what's on your mind, and then getting to work, all right? When your brain has minimal stimuli, when it has minimal things that are pulling its attention away, you can drop into flow much easier. And when in flow, this is when you're doing your best work. It's when time disappears. It's when you become one with the task. It's when you're not worried about making mistakes or showing up at a level that's below what you think you can. No, you're just fully immersed. You're one with the task, and you know that, okay, what I'm doing is meaningful, it's purposeful, and I'm just executing. That's powerful. So if brain fog is one of those things you're dealing with all the time and is making deep work very difficult, as it does for most people in this world, spend those 5 minutes. Let me know how it goes in the comments. Shoot me an email, whatever. I'd be happy to know if you apply this and it works, because it's really worked for me. It's worked for my clients. It's worked for my friends and family. I'm very confident that it'll work for you. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll speak to you soon.